What's your understanding of bond traders? I mean, usually they're very vigilante, like in other countries. Do you think they'll get more
I think so.
vigilant about what's happening in the US? Because they also print the dollar, so they have that advantage.
Exactly. But that advantage, I think, is has already been used up, which is the fact that that there's a limit to which you can keep doing this. America used to run budget deficits about 3% of GDP for the last 20 years. In the in fact, I've got this amazing statistic which always stays with me, that America, in its first nearly 250 years since independence, accumulated about $17 trillion in debt. In the last 10 years, they've accumulated another $17 trillion in debt. So this trajectory has really gone vertical. And I think that this is where the big risk lies for America. And my suspicion is that in the next few months, possibly in 2025, I think that the bond market is going to start to revolt, because they're going to see that Trump's going to keep pushing for more tax cuts or letting spending increase, because there's no incentive for him not to do that until the bond market revolts. Why should a politician stop? Even in India's case or any case, the only check and balance really comes is because they understand that if interest rates go up or if the bond market begins to revolt, we can't do all this.
No, but the big difference in India is that Modi by instinct seems to be a fiscal conservative. At least he'd like to be now. Sometimes there are political compulsions, but he doesn't want to run up these big deficits, and that's what his government has shown over the past 10 years.
Yes, that's right. Because I think that they see India's history. They see, like in the past, when like in 2012, 2013, what happened, when our fiscal situation went out of control. They understand that India, they don't want to have India be seen as vulnerable.
Sure.
America doesn't face that, because so far they've run these massive deficits and they never faced a problem. India's faced a problem in the past. Whenever they've run a deficit, there's been a sort of feeling that, hey, that this can't be sustainable, and other countries in the world too feel that. In fact, my sort of big case is the fact that if you look at most emerging markets today, they are being fiscally responsible. They have changed their habits. But in America's case, it's gone the other way, because there's been no pushback ever.
So you made the point that there's zero interest in foreign investors, particularly in the United States, but wanting to invest in the Indian markets. A lot of the growth that we've seen in Indian markets has been supported by domestic financial institutions, particularly mutual funds.
Yes.
Price earning ratios already quite heated. So given this context, what's your outlook for what you think is most likely to be the trajectory of the markets in the next few months?
Well, I think that it's going to be a bit challenging until, we sort of see this thing turn, which is that the one variable that every investor in India should look at as to when foreign flows will start coming back into India is when the dollar turns. That until and unless the dollar starts to weaken, then that's when I think foreign investors will return. Like all this other talk that China's done a big stimulus, some money will go there. I think this is all short-term fluff. Because I don't think that's like sustainable. I don't think China's growth story is so sustainable that people are going to reallocate capital to China, move away from India. I just don't think that's going to happen. But I think that what needs to be done out here is that when the dollar does start to weaken, that's when you'll see foreign inflows come into here. And remember that India is India is one of the best performing emerging markets in the world. So there's, like in India's case at least, there's some interest when you talk to people, but generally the interest of American investors where the large pools of capital lie in going international currently is close to zero.